Nothing, I got it. Just, I had to go back and re-put the stream key in. Hope what? Yeah. All right, I'm going live now. Hot damn, I believe I'm live on Facebook. Been a while since I've gone live on Facebook. It's I'm Right, You're Wrong. I don't think I've ever done this on Facebook. I'm right, you're wrong, so F off. It's a lot of salty language, not safe for work. You might not want to be tuning in if you're easily offended. But in this day and age, I used to be a little more cerebral. I used to be able to talk more sensible and calmly, but now I just, the way the government just screws us, you just gotta call it. You just gotta go balls to the wall. Fuck these guys, man. Fuck these motherfuckers. So that'll let you know what you're in store for. You can just tune out now. If you don't want to hear me call everybody in Washington a bunch of cocksuckers, you're probably not gonna want to listen. Make sure. Am I live? I don't know how to check this. I even know to check if I'm live. I think I'm live. Where am I? Here I am. I guess I gotta hit play. Now, how do I get chat? How do I turn on the chat? I want chat. God damn it. I got 8 screens up on here. Get the fuck. Okay, chat. How do I do chat? Bam. Yep. Don't know how to do it. It says comment. Maybe I just don't have any comments because I just came on. It's I'm Right, You're Wrong. I'm Right, You're Wrong. I used to do this back on the old show, back on Radio I.O. I used to be back on Radio I.O. and do the show I'm Right, You're Wrong. And, the gimmick is, I tell you not to listen because you're not going to like it. You're going to get pissed off. You're either a hard blue stater, you're a hard red stater. You think your guys care about you and the other guys don't. Well, I'm going to tell you you're completely fucking wrong. And if you think opposite, you can fuck off. And then, most people don't like that. But surprisingly, it grew and grew and grew. People just kept, more and more, I kept telling people not to listen. And they kept listening. It was very frustrating. What's up, Michael Rexford? Jeff Herzog. This is the second. The first try worked. I just wanted to make sure before I got all ready and advertised it was going to be on on Facebook that I could do it. So I did a quick test run. And then I immediately tried it again and I couldn't do it. And I tried it the third time and it fucking worked. Oh shit. I'm right, you're wrong, so fuck off. If you're involved in any political discourse now on social media, you realize how ridiculous people are. Fortunately, you can still go out in the world and talk to people. Most people don't really talk about politics. Social media is a poison on our land. Social media, because it's everybody. You got your tailor-made social media feed. They feed you what you want to hear. So you think, man, everything I think is right. I'm a genius, and so when somebody counteracts you, you're like, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. You don't have, and you bring back the talking points that you've got from your news station, because that's your favorite news station, because they tell you what you want to hear, and you just regurgitate those talking points and talk to whoever you're talking with as if they're a moron. That's not. People used to debate. You can have a heated debate about politics, and then afterwards they were, all right, well, we'll agree to disagree. They weren't like, you're a stupid motherfucker, dumbass, or you hate America. You are a threat to democracy. What the? If you believe this shit, you buying this shit, people? If you're buying this shit, you need to do a little more reading. You need to educate yourself. You need to not watch. You can't watch CNN. You can't watch Fox. You can't watch ABC, NBC, CBS. You just got to go out there in the wilderness and try to find some kind of truth yourself. And they know that. They know that there are people who out there who go out there and speak the truth. And you know what they do to those people? They ban them from social media. So you can't find the truth. It's very difficult to find the truth. And I'm sorry, you know, everything that's happened in the last, 5 years, if you're believing anything either side on the mainstream media puts out, you know, you're wrong. You're gullible. You're a mark. You love your beliefs and your party so much that you refuse to take anything into account other than you're right and they're wrong. And see, the thing is, people would say, well, you're the same way. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. Well, I've been doing this. I've had this, every single belief I have now, I've had for over 20 years. There was no social media feeding me my own tailor-made feed so that I was like, yes, I'm right. Yes, I'm right. Maybe now, but I've been right for 20 years. So I don't think that really counts. It doesn't matter because I was already had the exact same viewpoint. Yeah, I mean, so many things, every day I could probably just do this show 24/7 and it's on a loop. Every news story that comes out, sorry, I got to drink out of my sippy cup, which I have to drink of because I spill things on the board and ruin my stream. Like, okay, so Joe Biden, he's trying to decriminalize marijuana, and he's pardoning everyone who from federal offense for minor marijuana charge. And you know how you know that? Well, that may be all well fine and good. Clusterfuck grinders available on clusterfshow.com, I think. I mean, that might be, that's good. That is good. People shouldn't be in prison for minor marijuana offenses, and marijuana should be decriminalized. So you could say, ooh, way to go, Joe Biden. Or you could look back, they have video evidence of this shit. He's been in Congress for 40 years. You could look back at him holding up a dime and saying, with his new crime bill, Joe Biden's new crime bill, if you possess so much more than a dime-sized rock of crack, you're going to jail for 20 years. Said he had a fucking hard on when he said that. He was so happy. He was so happy that he was going to put a generation of African-American men in prison for 20 years and ruin the social fabric of the black community. He had a hard on for that. He fucking loved that shit. But now, marijuana, fine. Nobody should be in jail for having a little weed, even though it's a Schedule 1 narcotic. It's been a Schedule 1 narcotic forever, just like crack. See if I find it. Ned had a good tweet last night. Everybody's arguing about Hunter Biden and because there's some video audio recording of what's his fucking name, of Joe talking to Hunter, and he's trying to get Hunter help because Hunter's on the crack. Hunter's on the crack, and I didn't pay attention to the story, but I guess the right was using it against Joe Biden, and the left's going, well, that was a compassionate call from a compassionate father trying to get his son off crack. I don't think I can find where's tweets and replies? Tweets and replies, mother. I don't even know how to use Ned's Twitter profile. Just go to home. Nah, I won't find it. It was like, I said the whole thing about, Ned said the whole thing about the crack, and Joe Biden put black people in jail for a dime's worth of crack. But then he had a change of heart when his son, Hunter Biden, revealed to him that it's just a rich man's party drug. Crack cocaine is a rich man's party drug. You fucking do crack all you want when you're rich. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't going to go to jail. Could have been rich 20 years ago under Joe Biden's crime bill and had crack. You ain't going to fucking jail if you're rich. Ice-T said it fucking 10 years ago. Actually, it was like 3 years ago. He said it. He goes, Ice-T said what he said. He says, it's not Black Lives Matter. No lives matter. Unless you're rich. That's all it is. It's not. It's not. It's divide and conquer. It's class warfare. Warfare. It's the same shit that's been going on for fucking decades and decades and decades. They don't give. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit what color you are. They give a shit how much money you got. If you got a few $1 billion, you're in the club. If you ain't got a few billion dollars and you're white, you're out of the club. If you're black, you're out of the club. You know, you need 10 people. You know, I do this show. Sometimes I would imagine sometimes it gets a little repetitive, but you know, any viewpoint gets a little repetitive, but it has to be repetitive because that's the only way. You gotta say it 3 times to catapult the propaganda. You gotta say it 3 times to catapult the propaganda. You do, and then eventually, you'll get some people, and the light bulb will go off once they hear common sense in their face enough. Over and over again, just common sense and common sense and common sense and truth and common sense. They're like, man, maybe this guy's, he's right. And I guess, yeah, that shit's bullshit. People are capable of that. I don't know if they're capable of it anymore. It's it's programming. It's nothing but programming. Marijuana is really, it don't matter if you like marijuana, you don't like marijuana, you're pro marijuana, you're anti marijuana. There's certain facts. Most drugs, prescription, non-prescription, illegal drugs as well, they kill a lot of people. They kill plenty of people. You know, look at the opioid crisis, hundreds of thousands of people. Almost, all hardcore illicit drugs kill people. It's just the way it is. OD, man. OD'd on that meth, OD'd on that crack, OD'd on that opioid, OD'd on that heroin. You don't OD on marijuana. You can take too much and freak out. Take too much and get way too high. Nobody ever dies. It's not a thing. Can you imagine how many deaths? Look, they legalized marijuana. Everybody's doing marijuana. How much the media would hype up if there was 500, it could still be the lowest number of deaths of any drug. And if there were 500 people that died from marijuana overdoses that year, they take it to schedule 0. It's the worst drug ever, even though 100,000 people die from opioids. Even though the opioid epidemic started with Big Farm and OxyContin. And nobody goes to jail. Here's some more. This is the proof upon proof upon proof upon proof that I'm right. Do you remember? You remember the Republicans? When the Republicans, they put a stop to that opioid crisis, and they demanded criminal trials for Big Farm and put people in jail. Oh, you don't remember that? You don't remember that? Because it didn't happen? Oh, I'm sorry. What I meant to say, do you remember when the Democrats were so outraged at America's dying at an alarming rate, 100,000 a year of opioids? Do you remember when they put the Big Farm on criminal trial and put those bastards in jail for life? Do you remember that? No, it didn't happen. Because if you're a Democrat, your guys don't give a shit whether your 18-year-old son dies of opioids. And if you're a Republican, your party doesn't give a shit if your 18-year-old son dies of opioids. Or daughter, or he, she, whatever we're talking about now. They don't give a shit. What will it take to, opioids are currently killing 100,000 people a year. A lot of that's fentanyl now, but it was, this all started with the OxyContin. Most kids died of OxyContin. Like a lot of people, they got a back injury, knee injury, they got hooked on OxyContin. Then they couldn't afford it anymore. They went to heroin, and then they died. That was all Big Farm. And if your party didn't even mention criminal prosecutions for the people who were responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans, your party's totally full of shit. Riddle me that. Argue me that. You can't. You fucking can't. What's up, Mark Ombergi? Big Farm donates millions to Democrats and Republicans to keep it off the radar. They spend so much money on advertising, not only to advertise their poison, but also I've told this story before. I was in radio, and if somebody was paying the radio station money, you didn't talk about them. No, not a bad. You said you made a joke about McDonald's back in the day. The fucking head honcho guy who barely came out of his office because he was eating good and plenties and doing nothing else but getting paid a fucking shitload of money would come and he would say, "You can't be saying anything about McDonald's ever again. Do you understand?" That's what they would say to. I'm trying to think of I can't think of a new anchor. Who the fuck are these guys? Well, Lester Holt. If Lester Holt, the big farm is responsible, they'd have a meeting with Lester Holt and say, "Stay on the script, motherfucker. Stay on the script." You know how many hundreds of millions of dollars we've made from Big Farm? And then the preposterousness, just the insult where people, where you can show them this. You can show them how the Big Farm never did anything about OxyContin. They lied to begin with and said it wasn't addictive, and they were never not trying to get people hooked on OxyContin, ever. Big Farm legitimately trading American lives for dollars. And then they come out with the deal, the jab. They come out with the jab, and everyone believes them 100%. They're doing it for the good of you, and it's safe, just like OxyContin. That's a good kind of an advertisement. Do the whole, the wind blowing the trees, the Pfizer logo, and they go, the jab, just as safe as OxyContin. Right? That's what they sold you. So you insult. So that's 100% true. You can't deny it. You it'd be like asking a convicted thief and rapist to watch your 5-year-old and expect nothing to happen. Well, he said he was reformed. Before he's sorry about the theft and the rape. Sorry about the theft and the rape, but now he's cool. He's gonna watch your kid. He wants he wants to get on the right. No, you at least there should have been extensive cynicism. That's called science, motherfuckers. Believe the science. Science is cynicism. Science is asking questions. Science is saying, hold on, let's really dig into this and have a back and forth on what that wasn't allowed. See, it's provable. But I would say that to somebody and they would just go, they would just give me some lame talking point. It's all provable. Marijuana, 0 deaths, never deaths, ever deaths. Scheduled 1. OxyContin, just fine. Guess there's not enough people now. There are growing marijuana to give politicians money. Or I was on the couch. Me and Donna, we watch the news at night and we pause it and we figure out the world's problems because it's not hard. It's not that hard, and so I had a little a couple cookies, a couple of medicinal cookies, and boy, we really solved some problems because it really makes you think about things. People don't think about things. If you think about things, you can get to the bottom of it pretty quickly. You can trace the money. Just trace the money. Trace the fucking money every time. It's like I saw yesterday, one dose of ketamine. Here I got it right here. It says here, ketamine reduces depression symptoms within hours. Ketamine reduces depression symptoms within hours. Here's how the psychedelic works so fast. Okay, so, most people are like, that's great, ketamine. Oh, who would have thought ketamine? Oh, that's great. Blah, them, pew, pew. That's all they see. Well, that's why they put ketamine I mean, ketamine, I think it's used, it's like a horse tranquilizer. So, but that's why they keep that a Schedule 1 drug so that no one tests it. Why weren't they working? Why weren't they testing for ketamine? All these what do they call them? Serotonin? I don't know. Whatever the new. There's not even proof that there's a chemical imbalance that today's antidepressants work on. There's not even proof that they just fucking turn you into a zombie. So nobody's you're spending billions of dollars over the last how many years on research, but you're not researching ketamine. Why? Because it works. Because it works. You might actually, take ketamine for a while and cure your depression. Well, what the fuck? No. Make sure we keep that thing. Nobody can even research ketamine. It's such a bad drug. That's what they do. Mushrooms, I believe, they're working on psilocybin, ketamine, these things to reduce depression symptoms in microdosing. And that's just, I don't even know why they're allowing it now. Because they just don't. That stuff is not allowed. You could have heard for years. Under the radar. Urban legend. Well, I heard I took this and it helped me. Well, you ain't gonna find any legitimate science research in that because they'll fucking squash the shit out of them. All right, I mean. The whole war on drugs, the whole marijuana being a Schedule 1, if you can't look at that and say, well, that's obviously a political thing. They've kept a harmless drug relatively harmless. I'm not promoting anybody who doesn't, who wants to go try marijuana. Some people it works for and it's good, and some people it's not. But if you compare it to like alcohol, we're not even talking OxyContin. Compare it to alcohol. One of the worst drugs ever. It kills people every year, every day from not only cirrhosis of the liver and other medical conditions, but drunk driving's about 30,000 a year. So we got proof. We got the numbers right there for the last 100 years of how many people alcohol kills every year. It's fine now. It's fine. It's big business. Marijuana. I imagine there probably might be some crashes you could attribute to marijuana, but as far as nobody overdosing, not that many people, blow it out of their minds and go drive like maniacs. They usually drive slower. Not saying you should drive stoned, but I don't think there's any comparison to the amount of people who are driving on pills and alcohol that kill people as to people on weed who kill people. There's no doubt about it, and you can make the case 100%, no doubt about it. Marijuana is not as bad as almost any drug. Alcohol's 100% legal. Marijuana's way less bad than alcohol. Alcohol, how many guys are getting high on weed and beating their wives? It ain't happening. You have 4, 5, 6, 8 Jack Daniels and Cokes in you. You're fucking wailing on her. Not everybody, but if you're predisposed, some people, they can't drink liquor. They can't drink whiskey. It turns in, it makes them insane. Imagine, if people were smoking marijuana and then, going and shooting up the house and beating their wife like they were on a whiskey rager, marijuana would have been a Schedule 0, the worst drug ever. How do you not see that? And then, the tired. I think it's a pretty good example. I think it's a pretty good way to present it. Is all these years, the Republicans. What is it? This is how I used to treat my kids. All these years, I think it started like in the 1930s. The Republicans were the party that were saying, they weren't on the reefer madness bandwagon. They were saying weed isn't that bad. Weed isn't that, we should just, decriminalize it. And no, that didn't happen. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. The Republicans didn't do that. It was actually, I hate to admit it, because the Democrats are in power right now, so they're the ones that are top of mind as bad guys. But the Democrats, of course, they naturally had a more of a liberal viewpoint of marijuana. The Republicans were coming out, typical Republican strategy with the reefer madness, it's typical over the type, scare you hype. While the Democrats, for as long as I remember, wanted to legalize weed. No, they haven't. Every party has had a majority control at one point, multiple times in the last 30, 40, 50 years. None of them ever were like, we're not going to do anything about marijuana. We're just going to make it not a class one. How about that? How about we don't make it like the worst, right up there with heroin and, and PCP and fentanyl. Fentanyl, more proof. I got proof. Me and Donna solved a lot of problems last night. What's up, Jason Gilderson, Jeremy Kramer, Nancy Reagan. Do things like this come and go? Nancy Reagan. I just learned, I think it was this year I learned it. Nancy Reagan was known as the throat goat. Nancy Reagan. Little Nancy Reagan. Sweet little Nancy Reagan. She was known as the throat goat because she was an actress back on the, in the days of old Hollywood where Ronnie was doing Bedtime for Bonzo. And she was blowing producers to get movie roles. And she was called the throat goat because I guess she was quite accomplished. Nancy Reagan, I always knew she was a go-getter. And she said, she sat at home shoving cucumbers down her throat for a couple of weeks and said, I'm going to Hollywood and I'm going to be a superstar. And she was. Maybe she deserved all that. Maybe that's how the world works. Maybe, I shouldn't be, we shouldn't be mad at all these crooks and criminals. Maybe we should be going, well, that's how the world works. And we kind of got left off the boat because we were trying to, be like moral and shit. No, the world is nothing but lies. It's nothing but lies, and I try to make the analogy. I have to make that. I almost have to. I need to keep a piece of paper because I'm constantly forgetting shit. I'll make the analogy in a second. What's up, Jeremy? I already said that. You gave him the Nancy Reagan thing. Michael DeMarco, what's going on? Robert Keller, truth. It's truth. Scott Mansfield. Mark Amberg, he says, the only thing they did was make it to where you can't shoot oxys up. But if you have D, it's okay because there's Narcan. Making money on both sides. Piling money on top of money. You know how much Big Farm is making off of Narcan? What a crime. What a crime. When in the history of the world has I'm probably a lot, but you've got a major corporations killing people with their drugs and then making money off a drug that they made to save the people who are dying from their drugs. What does that tell you, people? And the government's like, yep, good idea. We need to save these people that you're poisoning. What? It's like insanity. They have an opioid constipation drugs. The drugs we give you make you not be able to shit. So we want to sell you another drug. And we'll probably have to sell you another drug because the opioid constipation drug makes your asshole bleed. So we have a non-asshole bleeding drug. Can we get some light bulbs out there? Now, most of you guys out there, I know. I'm talking about, See, most people who don't agree with me, they don't listen live. And they certainly don't chat. They don't listen live because they're in the shadows, they're mad and they're angry about, being called stupid and everything. And they don't have an open mind. They can't see these simplicities. They can't think critically. Me and Donna solved like 18 problems last night just thinking critically. Just take the problem and think about it. No, everybody just, this is how we've done it, and this is how we're going to do it. Well, that's because they're stealing the money. Why would you change the system that's working? Well, I was, okay, I drive around a lot here in the Wesley Chapel, Central Florida area. And I go in these subdivisions that aren't that old, the roads aren't that old, and they're patchworked with, potholes covered, and it's like going down, going down the mountain in a Jeep with boulders, it's like, you're like, man, what's going to come loose on my car this trip down this road? And it's like, how long have there been roads, paved roads? It's been a long time, probably a part in area, 100 years. And, we've got a electric car that'll drive itself. We can put we have a filter that'll put a mustache on you in your TikTok video, but we can't come up with something to cover a hole in the road that isn't like that's flat. Hey, there's a hole that's got, no, we can't do that. That technology does not exist. A lasting hole patch for a road that isn't, or maybe it's the workers. It looks as if they just fucking heap the asphalt on there and don't even smooth it down. I don't know. It's just kind of preposterous. I just use that to illustrate. You think your government's going to solve global warming? They can't fill the potholes, people. That's what I talk about, critical thinking. Yes, we need to stop global warming. The government, give the government the money to stop the global warming. Okay, well, the government's got lots of money, and they can't fix potholes. And they wage immoral wars, and they don't win them. And look at the Afghanistan withdrawal. And then look at all the money we're giving. Look at there's so many things that, people just, they don't think. They just want my side, my side, my side, my side. Common sense. There shouldn't be a side, in the war in Iraq. The Republicans took us into a war based on lies because they wanted to make some money and get rid of Saddam Hussein. They wanted a cash cow in the Middle East. They wanted turmoil in the Middle East that benefits them. That was the Republicans. Democrats went right along with them. Every single war is bipartisan, and okay, so the Republicans, they can't, you don't see a bunch of Republicans going, yeah, we do have a history of lying ourselves into wars. You don't see that. The withdrawal from Afghanistan under Democratic control, disaster, as the Taliban takes all our weapons and bombs 13 of our troops, and it's massive chaos. Can you imagine the amount of people who helped us that we screwed over? And Democrats, no, that they don't think anything about the Democrats for that. No, Democrats are the people that handled Afghanistan are gonna stop the planet from warming. Get the fuck out of here. The people that took us into the Iraq war, that slog of that mire, that disaster, they're gonna stop climate change. And that's why this is I'm right, you're wrong, so fuck off. You're basically a moron. See, that's what, the climate change people, I don't deny climate change. I believe it's 100% man-made, just like the government says. I'm not a climate change denier. I'm just saying the government's going to steal the money, and it's the history of the government not doing the right thing and the government being incompetent and the government stealing the money. It goes way back. It goes back probably since day one. You don't think somebody in the Continental Congress wasn't getting, 20 jugs of molasses to vote some way? Same shit. It's just, it gets worse and it gets worse and worse. I can give you a million analogies to government. Like I think I've talked about it. I've talked about it a couple times. It blew my mind in that recent fishing tournament where the guys got caught with big ass like sinkers stuffed in the fish to make their fish weigh more. Big ass sinkers, about almost as big as an egg. Pretty blatant cheating, and the way they think they've done it before, but they got caught this time because the fish weighed so much. The people were like, they're like, my fish is that big, and my fish only weighed 25 pounds, and these guys fish, all 5 fish weighed a total of 40 pounds. So they cut them open, and it's sinkers, and these guys have won boats and tens of thousands of dollars with their, and they were very happy about it too, with their fish. Woo! We won the boat with our fake fish. So in a fishing tournament, where the prizes are maybe $10,000-$20,000 and maybe a boat, and sometimes there's 100,000, but usually it's around the $10,000-$20,000. In those endeavors, they're probably completely corrupt, and everybody who wins them is either hiding fish out in the lake or the ocean, or stuffing fish with stuff. They're cheating. In NASCAR, if you're not cheating, you're not trying is the slogan. In NASCAR, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, is the slogan. And so every aspect of, I've witnessed it in Little League, I've witnessed it in, other youth sports. The Boy Scouts is rife with pedophilia. So all these smaller, almost any small thing, somebody's trying to cheat. And the bigger it gets, the bigger they cheat. And you don't think that these people in government are completely corrupt when they all become millionaires. You think they all become millionaires because they do a great job and they're wonderful people? They all become millionaires because they spend all their time in Congress setting themselves up and taking money and making deals so that, I'll make sure that I pass that OxyContin bill and, 100,000 people die a year. And, I get a seat on your board and all this stock when I retire. Yeah, sweet. That'll go along with the other 10 million I've made insider trading, which is legal for Congress, by the way. Yeah, if you don't understand these are fucking basic tenets of human nature and life. People are always trying to cheat. Groups of people who have power and money tend to get together and make sure they stay powerful and rich. You're not going to, Democrat, Republican, you could either fight, we could fight and try to eliminate each other, or we could just work together and make a gazillion dollars and have ultimate power and divide people so much that half the people hate you so much that they love me even though I'm taking all their money. See how simple that is, people? See, it's so fucking simple. It's fucking simple. And people, they won't believe. It's like that. Partisanship is their life, their political belief. And then, everything's so fake that sometimes I step back and go, wait a second. I don't think everybody's really on board with this, alphabet stuff and the surgeries. The surgeries for, minors. I don't know if everybody's. I don't know if everybody. It would make it appear if you watch the news that at least half the people are on board with that, but I don't think they are. I think it's like a 20% maybe. It's a giant. Do you talk to people? It's so. See, there's no talking to people. I can't even find, left people to talk to. I don't even, I can't. I'm dying to talk to people on the left about this stuff. Dying to talk to them, about, you can't really talk about, I don't think you can talk about COVID anymore. And no matter what, you can't quote the CDC. Well, the CDC said that about ivermectin now? Is that a 180? It's a 180. 180? Okay, the line for people who made fun of people, saying the horse dewormer stuff starts there. It's going to be about 17 miles long. Can we get everybody lined up for you people to apologize for ridiculing one segment of the population for being ignorant and using horse dewormer when it turns out it's an FDA approved drug and it worked all over the world? Nobody in the line. It was supposed to be 7 miles long. Nobody. See, you ain't reaching. See, they've got us so divided here. I think I'm writing it down. Write down the good stuff. So I don't hear a lot of people saying this. I don't hear anybody saying this. They've got us so divided, and Trump, they really They picked a guy that was very polarizing. They picked a guy that was very polarizing. Genius, genius. And they divided us so much over Trump because not everybody agrees with the guys swimming in pools with girls and you know all that, you know, and the pronoun stuff. Not everybody does, but everybody. But I mean, not half the people do. Half the people, I don't think they do, but half the people, I think, do hate Trump because they've demonized him. It's almost amazing that it's only half because it's been, you know, I don't give a shit about Trump. I don't give a shit. I'm just saying, I watched the news and boy, they really had a hard on for him. And the question I ask, there should be a million people, should be a million people forced to hear this question. George Bush took us into an illegal and immoral war in Iraq. It was responsible for over 100,000 Iraqis dying, many of them civilians, and maimed and killed over 10,000 Americans. That's George W. Bush. Why do you hate Donald Trump more than that? And it's a legitimate question, and I've never got a real answer that made any sense. Why do you hate a president that murdered well over 100,000 people more than Donald Trump, who, as far as I know, didn't kill anybody? That's a simple question. Don't care. I don't care. I'm a curious guy, and I see how they demonize Trump, and I think, and I use my fucking little brain, and I think, well, let me think about other presidents who've done really bad things, which is a lot, and they've killed a lot of people, and they've, you know, Vietnam, the withdrawal from Afghanistan, the going to Afghanistan, the Iraq War, excuse me, all these things that are right there in front of you. What's up, Topher Ormond? Mike, how do you say that? Dater? Yeah, I mean, you know, tell me how you say your name, Mike. Nobody knows what a generation, you know, of kids being brought up on Adderall and Ritalin, whatever they give them now. Nobody knows the effects of kids who are given pills, and they give it young now, man. You could probably give Adderall to 5 and 6 year olds. They give it young. So they, you know, and normal kids, man, you know, kids are unruly. Kids are rowdy. You know, and, you know, they need discipline. And sometimes they're going to, even if you're a good parent, your kids are going to be annoying and rowdy, and you got to tell them to shut up. You don't give them pills. You give them pills. Imagine there's, you know, some children who have some kind of condition where they're, in thinking back, this is pretty interesting. You know, when I went to school, in my elementary school, there was like two kids in my entire grade who, you know, were troublemakers and they'd act up and they just couldn't behave. And so, you know what, those two kids are always in trouble and, you know, they're starting to get on a bad path. They probably could have benefited from some Adderall. And that's what it's for. It's for the kid that, you know, if he doesn't take Adderall, you know, he's getting sent to the office every other day because he's just a little shit who's, you know, always getting into stuff. That kid could probably benefit. You know, maybe he doesn't have good parents. So he needs something, some kind of help that might, you know, and Adderall probably would work for that. I'd love to know what percentage of kids in the average classroom are on Adderall or Ritalin or some shit like that now. I'd love to know. I bet it's a considerable number. Kids, man, kids are spazzes. You know, you can't say spaz anymore. Spaz. You can't say spaz. What I'm saying, kids, spastic. Spastic. If you have a spasm, it's what it is. It's spasm. It's a legitimate word. So if you're a spaz, you just spaz. You're just spaz. You know, you're this kid. You're at a barbecue and there's some 9-year-old boy who's running around, bashing his head into the wooden fence and ripping through the pool screen and screaming. And you're like, where's his fucking parents? This kid is a goddamn spaz. This kid's a spaz, flailing his arms like a maniac. 12 o'clock. This kid's a spaz. But you can't say that anymore because it's offensive to spazzes. I don't even understand the world anymore. What's up, Jamie Lambert? No show Wednesdays. We're just going to be taking Wednesdays off because we running 2 businesses and having other jobs. Berlin has another job. It's a lot. So I need a day to prepare for Ned and do all this stuff. Scott Mansfield, war, it'll get you a standing ovation every time. I'm one of the very few. I called out the Iraq war. I was castigated for it, called names, called an idiot. Called out the Iraq war. I called out, the war in Afghanistan as well. The big fucking cash cow. Called out the Ukraine. I think I got a song. Let's read. I'll never find that. What the hell did I do with that song? What the hell did I do with that song? I don't know. Damn it. My Ukraine song. Because I wrote that, but I think either right after Russia invaded or right before Russia invaded. I wrote my Ukraine song. And you know what? I bet it is. I bet it's 100% fucking true. 100% true. Where would that be? Nope, ain't gonna find it. It wouldn't be downloads. Nope, it's not on my music. It's on an email, which I would have to look for 10 minutes to find. So I won't do it. Oh, wait a second. I could do it live. I think I got the lyrics right here. I think. Oh, by the way, I'm terrible at promoting. This is I'm Right, You're Wrong. It's going to be on YouTube every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. On YouTube, Cluster F Show YouTube channel. Cluster F Show YouTube channel. Every Monday, you got to say it 3 times to catapult the propaganda. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 11 o'clock on YouTube. I'm Right, You're Wrong. Some of the greatest truths you'll ever hear. I'll say it a couple more times. Got to catapult the propaganda. YouTube, I'm Right, You're Wrong. So fuck off. The majority of the people don't want truth. But if you're a truth seeker, you're highly motivated. I know, I would go see back in the day. I would go see any comedian or any movie that was from somebody who didn't think in the box, who wasn't, who questioned things, it was because I always say, if you want truth, look at comedians. Comedians. If you want truth, look at comedians. Right now, there's not. Right now, most of the comedy is being directed at the current administration because they're the current administration, also because they're horrible. I mean, it doesn't. You know what? I'm an independent. I did not vote in the last presidential election. I don't care. Whatever happens, and we'll see whatever shyster, does that to us. So I don't care about Donald Trump. But boy, this Biden guy sucks, and I've been saying he sucked way before. Oh, I gotta find there was a thing. There's a thing on Twitter. I'll have to find it, and it's all the clips, or it might be just a Daily Show clip with Jon Stewart, and they're talking about how shitty Joe Biden is. Talking about how shitty Joe Biden was. But now they all love him. I'll tell you, catapult the propaganda. They demonized Trump so much that no matter what this terrible president right now does with dementia, All they have to do is, you can say, well, gas prices and the war in Ukraine and, nuclear disaster. Yeah, but he's not as bad as that guy who wants to destroy the country. So a guy they think, the country didn't get destroyed in the 4 years under Trump, but it appears to be being destroyed right now, kind of, right? You see, we got no strategic oil reserves. We're sending, so how many billions have we sent to Ukraine? Probably almost $1 trillion. It's preposterous. It's preposterous. Nobody really even cares. Nobody even cares. You can't hire cops. You can't hire firemen. Nobody wants to work. Who wants to be a cop? You want to be a cop? You're just gonna get shit on. You're gonna get shit on. Cops have always had to deal with that somewhat. Now you're really gonna get shit on, and you're dealing with people who have no respect. They don't have a respect for cops. They don't have respect for anybody. You got a whole segment. Parents ain't parenting. This isn't my day to parents would parent. No, parents, yeah, they would parent. If your kid is raised by a smartphone because you're too busy on your smartphone, spending 4 hours a day, I don't know what you're doing, playing some kind of word games, going through your Insta, going through your feed. You're not parenting. You're not teaching kids the basic skills to interact with people. It's like that kid that got shot by the cop a few days ago. Cop opens his door of his car. The kid's eating a hamburger, and the first thing the kid does is hit reverse and start turning the wheel towards the cop so that he can get the fuck out of there, and maybe even hit the cop. And it's like, that's your first reaction, because parents aren't, as a parent, a lot of times you'll actually have conversations with your kids like that. Now, if you're, ever pulled over, you just don't make any sudden moves, and don't be, just be cool. The nicer you are, the better you treat the cop, the better you're going to get treated generally. Sure, every once in a while you get a bad cop, and he's a dick no matter what. Well, you know what? I've had dicky plumbers. Every profession has dicks. Somebody was... Dang it. Every profession has dicks. Plumbers. Okay. Jamie Lambert says, Trump killed my buzz daily. Why did Trump kill your buzz daily? That's what I want to know. The only thing Trump ever affected, me was actually, my life was a lot better. I think I was doing a lot better under Trump. I would enjoy some of his comments because he digs at people. Well, I kind of like people who dig at people, who have barbed, who have a little wit to them. Where were all the autism kids when we were kids? That's right. Had 2 in my whole school. What's up? Joe Molly's detailing. Scott Mansfield says, I love seeing 5-year-olds with a better phone than me. Unbelievable. I want to know why he killed your buzz every day, Jamie Lambert. Where'd it go? Speaking of like 5-year-olds with iPhones, it's like you'll see it's people they're deluded. You have to have an iPhone. You have to. Oh my God, I have to have an iPhone. I couldn't do without it. My kids have to have one. You always see around Christmas time, they'd be giving away free bicycles to the underprivileged privileged kids. It happens a lot. They do that every year, a couple different people. And the people will show up and and what are they doing? They're taking pictures of their underprivileged kid on his new free bicycle with their iPhone 14. And it's not, you can't even say, it's like, now it's like, well, if you don't have an iPhone, you just can't, really be successful. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what it is, iPhone, or I think it's an iPhone. I don't fucking need it. I don't need it. Don't need to, of course, I guess you do need it now because they don't have pay phones. Used to be you really, really needed to get a hold of somebody. You just go, you pull into a convenience store, and there, sitting out in the parking lot, was a phone just had a little surrounded with a little thing to keep the elements off of it. And you could put your quarter and your dime in that phone, or however much it was, and you could make a call. That doesn't even exist anymore because you don't need it. Because Jamie Lambert says because he's an asshole rich narcissist. Okay. Does Joe Biden? Joe Biden is an asshole rich narcissist at least. At least. You don't even know what kind of things that's done to guys. And he did imprison Joe Biden. See, that's you're proving my point, Jamie Lambert. Joe Biden, with his crime bill and him with his mandatory sentences for people with small amounts of crack, destroyed an entire group of people's family structure and imprisoned thousands upon thousands of men who were really just trying to fucking make a buck. And he doesn't ruin your day at all. But Trump ruined your day because he was an outward narcissist. Something that's very superfluous. So Trump was a cocky asshole. So what? So what? What is that? Just ignore him. What I'm worried about is people who actually do bad things to people. I don't know who Trump imprisoned. I don't know if Trump imprisoned a generation of black people. I don't know. Did he do that? Did Trump imprison an entire generation of black people? Did he take us to war and kill thousands of American troops? I don't give a shit about Trump. I'm just saying, if you believe he's worse than those other guys, you've been duped. And it'd be much more. It'd be better for you to say, "Man, I was duped about that." He's not as bad as those other. Most of presidents kill a lot of people. Most presidents kill a lot of people, whether they be foreign people, whether it be napalm in villages in fucking Vietnam, or drone strikes in fucking Afghanistan. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how many. I don't know how many drone strikes Trump. I don't think he did a lot of that. So I would say he's low on the ladder of killing people, but he's way higher on the ladder of guys you dislike. So what is your moral compass when you hate people who say sarcastic, mean things more than you hate murderers? And ain't nobody else saying that, and it completely disproves the whole thing. You hate somebody who's mean and abrasive more than murderers of fine young Americans. I think I should just retire the show right now forever. Nobody drops the mic like this show. Nobody. Nobody's critically thinking. I don't spend all day on my iPhone. I got lots of time to critically think. And you don't even have to research some of this stuff. Some of this stuff like that. Donald Trump, you don't have to do a lot of research to know, well, we didn't go to war. And I guess, what people, we didn't go to war. I guess people would say COVID. That's a whole separate thing because you could argue 100% either way. And nobody's going to come to an agreement because I think you could, you're going to say, some people are going to say their way, and some people are going to say, well, then they did come. They can't. Everything that the people who, yes, you got to dance around this. Everybody that the people say about the, we'll have to come up with a new term for it, was eventually came out to be disproven, but that was all initially. See. They come out, even the CDC admits shit, and then when the CDC, if you retweet it, they ban it. And then maybe later they'll reinstate it. But you've already seen it banned, so you think it's fake. So now the lies come out, but they fucking spin the lie. They spin the truth so that you don't know. So not enough people even know that it was a lie, and they're still believing the fucking full page script because they can't unwind things because they're too busy at IKEA or something. They're too busy worried about a black Ariel, or the Washington Commanders having to change their name. Those are all government distractions because they don't mean fucking shit. They don't mean nothing. They mean zero. They mean zero. That's why they keep you focused on them. Let me finish. Where's my? Oh, there it is. Okay, let me get my chat. Jamie, where'd he go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Fucking chat says. Mark Clark says, I sure could go for a mean tweet right now. Yeah, you know you could. What's up, Thomas Adams Sr.? But the people who've been duped that he's the worst person in the world think his mean tweets are worse than murder. Mean tweets are worse than murder. That's if you gathered nothing else from this show today, mean tweets are worse than murder. Mean tweets are worse than murder for half the population. I think that makes you stupid. I don't care who's president. It's all a fucking con job, Jamie Lambert. I don't even believe Trump was a real president. I think he was put there specifically to divide the American people. And Joe Biden obviously isn't president. He's being controlled by somebody. Somebody's writing his fucking scripts. Who do you think's writing his scripts? Whoever writes his scripts is controlling the country. He's in debt to giant corporations and elites. I don't, I mean, maybe a meteor will strike and then we'll be okay. Other than that, you're effed, and people enjoy hearing about how we're effed. I don't have any solutions. There's no sense. They'll never let a decent president in there. The next president, I can guarantee you might think whoever he is right now, or he or she is amazing and a great person. They're either going to get in there and just be corrupted because that's what everyone does, or they'll be stifled and there'll be a one-term president and they're out. It's the way it is. So enjoy your cold beer, Jamie Lambert. Ned's Navy, sit there, outside, enjoy the cool breeze, smoke a blunt, drink a beer, and hold on to the good life as long as you can, and think and be cynical and suspect of everything you see, and get off of social media soon because they'll be coming for you. And then this show, I'll just shut down the show because I don't, I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble. I'll just go away. Yeah, you don't have to put me in jail. Charge me with high crimes and misdemeanors. Nope, I'll just go away. All right, just Mike Miller, what's up? God, this chat's, it's different. I guess because it's live. I don't know. They see the Twitch chat's flawless. This chat jumps around. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've done anything in my career that is too bad. I worked for the Bubba Love Sponge show. That kind of makes you, they would call you a miscreant, but that, I never did anything on there. I did say I got a lot of shit, Mike Miller, just in audio, because people can't take jokes anymore. And my career was in a time when you could take jokes. So I said the most horrible things about every person in the world, every subject, race, abortion, guns, sex, drugs, gender. I just said the most horrible things about everybody. So that would come back to haunt me. Yeah. Oh, well. Biden wasn't voted in. Trump was voted out. See, Ned's Navy, we'll agree to disagree. There's no way that's never happened in the history of the world. See, and once again, so why do you never before has people said that in a presidential election that someone was voted out? So I think I don't know how you can defy this logic, Jamie. George Bush murdered. It's not up for discussion. Everybody knows the war in Iraq was based on lies. So they lied to go to war with a country that had nothing to do with 9/11, and killed over 100,000 Iraqis and killed and maimed 10,000 U.S. troops. That's murder. That's murder. You do it for money and you lie for money. You lie for money. That's murder. And people didn't show up in droves to vote out George Bush. Who was he? Or He was at 8. He didn't even run. They didn't vote out and turn out in droves to defeat the Republican Party. They turned out because Barack Obama was a fake savior, hope and change. Talk about a fucking lie. Make America great again, hope and change. All these slogans are meaningless. I never met somebody used to. Well, I don't know what I don't. It's just that's why. Well, why would you? Why would you? If you didn't know, I'm just talking about Trump in general. I'm not talking about just his tweets. Trump's persona, his comments when getting on the helicopter, his comments when at a press conference, his tweets. Those are what annoys you. That's all I said. I'm not specifically saying tweets. You were annoyed by Donald Trump persona. Narcissistic persona, not as bad, is much worse for you than murder. I'm just saying. He had a narcissistic persona. He didn't do anything. I mean, as far as I know, he didn't murder or rape anybody or assault children. But George Bush murdered a lot of fine Americans. George W. Bush murdered a lot of fine Americans. You don't even really think about it. You'll never think about it again. So you just need to step back and realize that you are bowing to the media who are saying, this guy's bad, bad, bad. Because the media wasn't going 24/7, George W. Bush is a murderer, murderer, murderer. If he was, people would hate him. It's just human nature. You said nothing about what you're talking. I can't. It's too far away. Now I can't get back to it, Jamie. Well, I apologize. I read the wrong. It was probably somebody commenting to you. I apologize, buddy. I see. I'm man enough to say, oh man, if I was doing a whole harangue on you, I'll apologize. I've done it before. I remember I went off on Draclonus like nobody's business because it was a fake Draclonus with like a lowercase d or something, and he was trashing me, and I went off on him for like 10 minutes, just like motherfucking. And I apologized very profusely. So, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Jamie, because all the points, they would just apply to whoever said whatever, I was commenting on. Oh, what was the comment? It was like, somebody said, Trump kills my buzz every day. And then they said, because he's a narcissist. But I don't know who that was. So I wish I knew it was, because the chat won't go back that far. All right, I'm done for the day. Thanks for tuning in to I'm Right, You're Wrong, live on Facebook. And we will do this Monday. Well, actually, let's see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. for Cluster F on twitch.tv. Twitch.tv/ClusterF. Twitch.tv/ClusterF. Or check out ClusterFshow.com. I could get them Pharrell picks done today. And we will see you also live on YouTube Monday morning at 11 for I'm Right, You're Wrong again, where, I can piss off more of my listeners, especially great ones like Jamie, by saying the wrong shit, by making mistakes. I don't think I called you anything names, did I, Jamie? I might have. One last nugget before we go. I was thinking last night when me and Donna solved all the problems of the world. you look at after 9/11. I should save this for Monday, but after 9/11. Remember all the bullshit that we had to get, never again. So all the bullshit we had to go through with the Patriot Act and the TSA, you can't take your bottle on the plane, you got to get cert, take your shoes off, all that shit with the TSA. You got to get your driver's license renewed. You got to go show 18 forms of ID to make sure you're not a terrorist, to make sure Joe in Ruskin in his pickup truck ain't a terrorist. All that shit. Everything because we can't let it happen again. We got to worry about the terrorists. And Oh, and see, why is this a partisan issue? You go down to the border, they're coming in from all over the world. I was watching a video the other day, and they're like, "Where are you guys from?" And they're like, "Pakistan." Okay, so Pakistan, they harbor. That's where Bin Laden was. So you got people just pouring over the border. So while you got to stand in an hour-long line and take your shoes off and not take your perfume bottle on the plane or your water bottle, terrorists could just be walking over the border. They no idea. You think you could be a terrorist? All you got to do is say, you could say, "I'm looking for asylum." What, you got any ID? Nope. All right, here's the phone. And where do you want us to take you? Yeah, we got a lot of benefits for you. Doesn't that show you how fake everything is? Never again. Never again. Do you think the politicians either side give a fuck about 9/11? I don't give a shit. 9/11 is a tool for them. Just as coronavirus was a tool for them. It's all a tool. And now you've got potentially, you don't know who's coming over the border. As for a fact, I've seen it over and over again on multiple news outlets, left and right. The people coming over the border are from everywhere in the world because they know they can get asylum here. And if you were a terrorist, what would you do? If you wanted to get into the United States, without even have to be documented. Just waltz right under the border. Swim there, you climb a wall, do whatever you can. Odds, if they pick you up, they take you to a place and give you a phone, and some places will put you in a motel. They'll fly you around. They give you all kind of stuff, help you out. Here you go, Ahmed. Would you like? Here's an AK-47. You see, that's not a real thing. Why would any government allow that? Why would any government allow that? It doesn't matter, I mean, there's only one explanation is that they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. They want chaos. When they have chaos, they can steal your money. Both parties want chaos. Both parties want division. Both parties want phony outrage. Both parties want to divide you over the basic issues that are almost unsolvable. Abortion's an unsolvable issue. It was pretty good for a while. See, abortion's fake. There's not a lot of women taking out their babies at 8 and 9 months and, having their, the doctors, sucking their brain out with a late-term abortion. It just doesn't happen. Very few women carry their babies for 8 or 9 months and went, "You know what? I don't want this thing anymore. Just kill it. Just kill it. He's kicking. See, look at him kicking. Take him out and kill it." It doesn't happen. That's so, if you're on the other side of the abortion issue, you're like, they want to kill babies at 9 months. It's actual baby. They want to birth the baby and kill it. That's so rare. And if it even does happen, hey, and maybe the next generation, who've been are so self-absorbed and attached to their phones, maybe when they grow up, maybe they will think that way. Like, "Oh, I've changed my mind about this baby. I don't have to talk like a woman. Men can get pregnant. I've changed my mind about this baby. I carried it for 9 months. Now it's coming out. And you know what? I lost my job. Let's kill this thing. Let's kill this thing." And you would not think anything about it because it would affect your life negatively at 9 months, and you'd kill that baby. Maybe that's happening. Maybe we do need these laws because we got a whole generation of sociopaths and narcissists we're raising because they're not parenting. 5 parents, 5 people, family of 5, out at Applebee's, out at Beef's, out at any restaurant you go to, Carrabba's, they're all on their phones. I used to take my family of 5 to a restaurant. I still do. And we'd go out and we would talk. And we would see how each other's day was. And maybe we would get into discussions about, morality or whatever. And how to do things the right way. That ain't happening no more. That could be one of the worst things that happen. The destruction of the family unit. You don't come back from that. Well, glad I could enlighten your day. Say, what's up, Kevin Kistner? Huge hemorrhoid, 224. I'll vote for him. 2024, huge hemorrhoid. Fred Jr., why argue about it? I'm not arguing about it. I'm telling you the truth. So that, because people like the truth. And I'm telling the truth. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. George Washington had walrus tusk teeth. See, another lie, Jamie. They lie to you night and day. He had walrus teeth. or so they say. Actually, he had wooden slaves. Oh yeah, there's some wooden teeth jokes to be made. Kevin Kistner. I'm way behind. Gary Vernon, what's up? I wonder if you can donate on Facebook. This is a lot of work doing the show. Thomas Adams Sr. See ya. All right, I think I'm done. I called you a bitch? Who did I call a bitch? I want to know why. I want to know how I called you a bitch. Like, sounded like Shatner. Sounded like Shatner there for a second. It's all fake. It's all fake. People, please believe me. Maybe if I did it in such a way, I could reach you people. Kind of started talking like Regis Philbin there for a second. All right. I think I'm done. What's up, Kevin S. Janes? All right, don't forget, where it was today, Wednesday. Tomorrow jam-packed as usual. Cluster F, 8 to 11. Mike and Jerry show, 11 to noon. The Net in Your Head, Friday morning, 7:45. And the Bar Show, 8 or 8:30 on Friday night. Jam-packed. I got to get to work in the next couple days on my Pharrell picks. And I will see you tomorrow morning for Clusterfuck. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.